Today's a twofer. It's hot. Man, it's hot. Wanted to share this with you. This is an idea that I think is a great idea. I'm surprised no one had done it before now, and there may be some other people doing it, but this is the first one I've come across, and I've sort of been looking for this. We all know about the various methods of food preservation: dehydrating, canning, freeze drying, Mylar bags, buckets, sealers, O2 absorbers, all that good stuff. Well, we always think of these things when it comes to our food items, our perishables and stuff like that. But what about some of what we consider non-perishables and some of the other items that are very necessary that as preppers that you need to have on hand? In this case, medical supplies. Survival Medical is packaging medical supplies in Mylar bags. The method that they're using, he wouldn't tell me exactly what they're doing because he's spent a lot of time working on this, and they've kind of perfected the process of getting this stuff packed. Because you got to think about what's in here. There's dry goods like bandages and Band-Aids, gauze, stuff like that. Then there's sticky stuff like tape, moleskin. Then there's liquids, and gels, ointments, alcohol prep pads, those kind of things. And how do you strike the balance? You can't just throw a desiccant bag in one of these because you'll dry out all the good stuff, the moist and the gels. So the folks doing this have spent a lot of time figuring this out. They're also one of the larger medical equipment suppliers. They supply things like people like hospitals and clinics and surgical centers and places like that. So they know what they're doing with this stuff. But they're also preppers. And they saw a need and they filled the void. So what you get, and this one here, this is called the Alpha Bucket. They consider this their base camp sort of medical kit. We see a lot of backpacks, things like that, with everything, including the kitchen sink in them. And those are great if you're on the move. In a squad situation, if you're an individual on the move, you can't carry that because you can't carry anything else. Whoever's going to carry that pack is going to be dedicated to carrying that pack. That's going to be your team medic, your squad medic. And everybody else is going to have to carry the rest of his gear for him to be able to live because he's toting what he's going to take to bandage you guys up if you need it. But when you're in a static position, you're at home and your bug out retreat, primarily at home is how I see this. Something like this is perfect. It's waterproof. It's a 5-gallon bucket with an alpha lid or a Gamma Seal lid, alpha bucket. But it's got a Gamma Seal lid, so you can open it up. Everything's stored in here, stays nice and dry, and everything's packed in individual Mylar bags. So I'm going to run through the bags that are in here to give you an idea what they're including. So the first one here is germ kit. So this is like an infection control or an exposure control kit. Things like gloves, respirators, CPR shields, some hand sanitizer, surgical scrub brushes, things like that. Next one up is a wound kit. I'm not going to read the entire contents. You guys can check the website out, which you're going to have to do if you want to get in on what we're going to do with the video. But this has all the stuff to handle small and large wounds. I mean, there's 4 pair of gloves in here. There's not just one, there's 4. There's the small packs of antibiotic ointment, eye wash, trauma dressings, sterile dressings, non-adherents, that kind of thing. All that's right in here. Band-Aids, that sort of thing. You can just grab the one you need, tear it open, and get to work taking care of whatever the situation is. One that I think a lot of people overlook that I find important is a burn kit. I have my own burn kit. I even have a fire blanket that's in my kit, but a burn kit. So this is specifically to treat somebody with a burn. And it's a pretty good one too. Again, 4 pair of gloves. There's a burn face mask in here, gauze, those kind of things. Everything you need to take care of a burn is in here. So this is a quality pack. Then they have one labeled toolkit. Things like forceps, shears, disposable thermometers, tweezers, pen light, safety pins, those kind of things. Tourniquet in here too, I see. Blood pressure kit is in here. There's 2 chem lights, tongue depressors, emergency Mylar blanket. So as you can see, this bag here, toolkit's going to fill a few needs depending on what you're facing. This would be a good one to grab out. Then we have a bleed kit. Here we have another tourniquet. We have a SWAT T. We have an Israeli bandage, large trauma dressing, more gauze, more sponges, Celox powder, waterproof tape, and 2 emergency pressure dressings. So if you got somebody with a heavy bleed, this is the one you're going to go for. And then we have what they're calling an injury kit. I would call this a mechanical injury kit because it consists of things like cold packs, hot packs, SAM splints, Sensi wrap, tape casting if you need to set something on somebody, elastic bandages. So this would be for like your mechanical injuries right here. The last thing in the bucket is the old Special Forces style medical bag. It's a Condor. It's nice. It's got Molly on the back, grab handle, sling handle. So that once you're opening these things up, you've got somewhere to put this stuff to keep it handy and keep it clean and usable, serviceable. So this is, to me, these kits are great. This is a one-stop answer to your base camp or your bug out location, whatever, home. You have this thing. It pretty much covers the gamut of everything that can happen to you. And he also has other ones. They've got lightweight, backcountry ultralight kits. Has a little bit of everything in it. This one here is called an on-the-move kit. I'm going to go ahead and open it up so we can kind of get an idea of what's in these. But I'm going to reset the camera a little closer. And I'm going to open this up so you guys can get an idea of the quality of the items that are in here and exactly what's in here. And we'll kind of see how they pack it up too. All right, so here is what Survival Medical calls their on-the-move kit. All the bags are Mylar bags, of course, but they're also the Ziploc style Mylar bags. So once you open this thing, you can still reseal it to keep your stuff contained. I mentioned a minute ago about the backpacks that we see a lot of people selling, and they're good. They're a good product to have, especially if you're going to be moving. But anybody who's dealt with those things knows that these items that are in here, these kind of items in those bags wear out really fast. You generally end up rotating it out because the packaging has become compromised, or they get wet. Especially in a backpack, you're out in a storm, this stuff's not waterproof, it's going to get wet, you're going to lose it, it's going to be compromised, and you're going to be replacing it. Stored in a Mylar bag, this stuff is going to last forever, just like our food. So, on the move kit, we've got an emergency pressure dressing, several woven sponges, some steri strips, more sponges. There's quite a bit of them in here. Non-adherent pads. And this bag is like packed to the gills too. Moleskin. Remember, talked about that a minute ago. Large bandages. And all this stuff is good quality. It all looks great. Non-adherent pads. A small roll of conforming stretch gauze. Triangular bandage. Even a pair of EMT shears with this little kit. Ultralight or ultra compact Mylar blanket. I order these myself, this particular one even, for kits because they pack up so small. Now, these aren't the heavy duty ones, but they're a Mylar blanket. They're going to do their job in a shock situation, that kind of thing, or even as a temporary emergency shelter, rain catchment. There's all kinds of things you can do with these. So, and now we've got some of the meds here. Let's see what all they've got packaged up here. We have AAA antibiotic ointment, 4 packs of that, looks like. Some BZK towelettes. These are like benzene towelettes, for cleaning up a wound. Burn gel. We were talking about burns. And when you're in a wilderness situation too, 90% of the injuries are going to be cuts and scrapes to the hands and burns to the hands. That's what generally happens. You're using edged implements, you're chopping wood, you're cutting stuff with a knife, and you're working around fire, dealing with metal around a fire. So most of the injuries that happen out there are going to be cuts and scrapes to the hands and burns to the hands. So having the stuff to deal with that is definitely a priority. Alcohol prep pads, sting relief pads, povidone iodine pads. So it's got a nice selection of the wet goods, as we would say, in here too. But as you can tell, everything is packaged up. Here's a you can use this for a tourniquet. It's the same thing like a phlebotomist uses when you go to get blood. They tie it on your arm. So, and they took the time to roll that up. Somebody actually had to sit down and do that to get the packaging right. Pretty good idea. Some paper tape. We've got some mechanical injury stuff in here. Cohesive bandage, ace bandage. Couple tongue depressors. And a real pinch, that's tinder. That could be cut up using a fire starter. Because again, this is a first aid kit, but this is also a survival item. And here we have gloves. And look how they're packaged too. These aren't just a couple pairs of gloves thrown in here. These are packaged for the purpose. That's pretty nice. I like that. And lastly, we've got a quality pair of tweezers. Not too bad. And another roll of gauze, conforming gauze. So all of this in that tiny little bag they call their on-the-move bag. So in your bug-out bag, something like this tossed in would be a pretty good first aid kit. You could take care of yourself. There's a couple things I'd recommend to add, depending on the situation you're in. Something like along the lines of an Israeli bandage and some quick clot. But that's only if you're anticipating people slinging lead at you or you're slinging lead at others, because eventually those bullets will find somebody, be it you or them. So I would add those to these. But this is a quality kit, and all quality items too. Like I said, these guys are in the business of medical supplies. This isn't cheap stuff. This isn't closeout or anything like that. This is all brand new, current date. Let's see if we can find some dates on any of it. I got lot numbers, but no dates. Yeah, this one here is 02-2019. So, you know, we've got good dates on this stuff. None of this is out of date. It'll last for a long time. So check out Survivor Medical. There'll be a link in the comments, obviously, to the website. Give them a look. We're going to probably do another giveaway because we like giveaways. I'd like you guys to be able to get your hands on this stuff and see it. And support, again, the people in our community. I mentioned that earlier today on the video I did about the holsters. We need to support the people in our community. Yeah, you can go to Walmart and buy this thing and put it together yourself. You'll actually spend more because he went over the numbers with me. He can build these kits cheaper than you can go buy the individual components because they buy in mass. These guys are in the industry. So you can't buy this stuff as cheap as he's selling it to you for. In these kits, I mean, it's sealed up in a Mylar bag, ready to go. You don't have to do anything but pick it up. And to support the people that are in our community that are supporting us. You know, I think we're all worried about dollars and cents, every one of us. And sometimes we get a little too caught up in that, I think. You know, every now and then it doesn't hurt to spend a couple extra pennies. And I'm not saying you're going to spend more here, but just remember to support the people in our community. Support the people that are out there doing things to help us, because that's what this is. You know, this is a great product that fills a really, really good need as far as long-term storage. Like I said, stuff in a backpack, stuff in, you know, even that little nylon bag. If this kit was packed in that nylon bag, within a year at the outside, you'd be throwing probably 75% of this away or more. If that bag got wet, you'd be throwing away a lot more of it. But the stuff stored like this, I mean, I can throw this in a bucket of water. I could float down a river with this in my pack, get out on the other side, open this thing up. I got a dry kit. And again, think of what else you can do with that stuff. You know, I mentioned, you know, taking the tongue depressors and using them for fire starter, tinder material if you have to. Even the cotton, the gauze, if it comes to it, you can do that. Because this stuff, the way it's packaged, the way it's sealed, it will always be dry. And even if you open it, you still got the Ziploc feature. You can close it back up, keep this stuff dry. And that's another thing too. Once you open this bag up, if you're in a survival situation, this bag is an asset. Just the bag. This is a water container. You can use it to collect food. There's a number of things you can do with just this bag. So this adds a whole other element to your kit by itself, just having this. So check out Survival Medical. Again, hit their link up, go to their page. I'll post the video on Facebook with something. We'll do a giveaway for you guys because I think it's a great product. I'd like for the rest of you to see it. At least go check them out if you're in the market for medical supplies, and I think everybody either is or should be, because this is one of the things I think nobody plans to have enough of. It's just like I mentioned before with hygiene products. You know, no matter how much of this you have, you're going to run out, you know, in a long term. And God forbid you have somebody that takes a serious injury. They slip with an axe, hit themselves chopping wood, slip with a chainsaw, heaven forbid. Or worst case scenario, you have somebody get shot. You're going to need this stuff in quantity. You know, a box of Band-Aids and some 4x4 squares isn't going to cut it. You're going to need a lot of this material. But getting it where it can be stored in this manner is a good start. But then add to it. You know, I buy the stuff in bulk, things like, not trauma dressings, what do they call them? Well, I guess it's kind of like a trauma dressing. They're large wound dressings. When I had my knee operated on, I was going through 3 of those a day, and I buy them by the case because I know what treating that kind of a wound, what I'm going to go through and what you're going to go through. My wife had a biopsy done one time. She had an open incision that they wouldn't close because of fear of an infection. So every day I had to pack that with fresh gauze and dress that thing. And we went through a mountain of supplies. So keep that in mind. You need to have this stuff in quantity. Just having one first aid kit stuck in a closet is not going to cut it if somebody gets hurt. But this is a good way to store the stuff, and it's a damn good start too. It's especially the bucket, which I'm looking for, but I'm sitting on, has enough in it to keep you going for a little while. But add to it, just like your food stocks. You know, order the bucket from them, and then you know, once a month, once every other month, you know, order something like this. Add to it, toss it in there on the pile. You know, if you're at Walmart, even pick up some stuff. Combine dressings, that's the term I was looking for. Combine dressings. Pick some more up. Add them to the stock, because if someone really gets hurt, you're going to need it. And having quality material that's properly stored, dry, clean, and sterile is going to save somebody's life. The alternative is infection, slow, painful, miserable death. So this stuff's just as important as all the cool things like guns and knives and camo and the stuff we need every day, like food storage. Here's medical storage. It's just as important. And don't let this be the place you slack, because it's extremely important. So again, Survival Medical, check out their website. You'll see the video on Facebook. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think about their products, and go to their site. What we're going to do for this giveaway is you're going to have to go to their site, look at their site, and to be entered to win, you're going to have to tell me what you think about their product. Because I don't want just a, hey, I'm in thing. I want people to actually look at this stuff and think about it. I think this is a unique idea these guys are doing, and it's a quality service to the community. So you're going to have to give me a little bit more than just I'm in. I want you to go to their site, take a look around, and tell me what you think about the products. And then we'll get together and pick a winner, and somebody will get some good kit. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time.